As I was tapping through a demo of a past experience that I had through tapping technique, I realized it was completely gone. That this relationship that I was using to explain to someone as an example how they could process their own had actually died. It could be that the pain or the memory and the instances were there, but as I went through the tapping sequence, the EFT, if you know what that is, it's emotional frequency therapy or emotional frequency technique or emotional freedom technique. There's like all these variants. But if you're here, this video is to reassure you that there is calm after the storm. We spend so much time in the storm or trying to process the storm or get out of the storm that I had completely bypassed the realization that there were so many other storms I had already weathered and gone into the calm. And I could tell by just noticing the frequency in my body. Because I remember precisely when I used to think of this same person or this same situation in this same occasion that I had done this exact tapping sequence before, the frequency was completely different or similar, right? It was like it was still there, and I already knew, yeah, this is a continual process. It just goes on and on. I just have to move on and continually have these things lingering there because I'm continually processing them until I specifically find the root for them. So, yes. So the first thing I wanted to clear up was that the calm is not a myth. I love this. In terms of the link, the band, the connection, whatever you had with this person, the actual, well, what I was working on before was relationships. So in the course that I'm building, there's a whole segment on the vibration and the relationships and how the vibration with relationships affects all the layers of our life. For some of us, it's the most powerful vibration that there is. It was for me, at least during the time where I was dealing with this. And just waking up to the idea of, okay, I'm going to review this and I'm going to do a demo and then share with people, and then realize that it was absolutely, completely gone. Many people, I think, that come out of therapy or any kind of transformation, I think there's very few actual people who can say, yes, that is repaired or that is gone. It's always like, well, that will always be a part of you and we just keep learning and keep growing. And I was just astounded right now to go through this. I knew there was a reason. Like a lot of the things we create and we do and we work towards are actually for our own self-healing. And not only did it re-heal me, but it affirmed to me that it's not a myth. There is the calm. I am in the calm. And it's a great place to share this with other people as insight into the fact, like the work does work. Doing the work does work. So it's not a myth. There is the calm after the storm. And there is calm before the storm. But before we get to that, I'm going to tell you one thing that you can do, which I tried and it didn't work, is imagine yourself 5 years from now. So I'm feeling that there's the tension and that it's going down, but I still have to interact with this person, especially if there's some kind of family or relative or there's some reason why you still have to interact with this person. Then I said in 5 years, it won't matter. The more you have to see them and be with them, the more that it stays alive. The more you can disconnect from the person and have a clearer space, the easier it is. Sometimes, not always. But I tried to imagine the 5 years, and that didn't work for me. So I added on here, try 13. So instead of seeing 5 years out, think 10 years out. I'm just coming back and revisiting the issue 13 years later, and that's the beauty that I found. That I said, oh my gosh, I'm completely in peace. I could do this whole process of the frustration of this relationship never changing, and the actual frustration, the emotion is what you work out, right? Was actually not there anymore. And that was super interesting for me to see all the layers, all the work that I've been doing has been working. And then if this doesn't work, because it's so hard to see the future, like 5 years from now, we're in pain. We can't think about 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So contemplate the past. This was a good one that I didn't do when I was going through kind of an emotional crisis because of a relationship. The past is proof that there was calm before the storm, right? We seem to forget. You seem to think like that before the person, there was other turmoils and now it's just another ball of turmoil. But if you really think back accurately, and I did this right now before I filmed the video, I said, there were huge chunks of peace and silence and calm and beauty, a lot of artwork, creating. Sure, I had some downs as well with whatever was going on in my life, but I distinctly remember how I was and who I was. I didn't have the partner, and unfortunately, sometimes we mistake the partner for being the one that had fixed something in the void. But the truth is that there is no such thing. They cannot do such thing. You must resolve it on your own, and they can accompany you in the journey. And I think it's this dependence of the magic that maybe they'll offer it to you. You sink that into your vibration and identify that being with them or having this person or interacting with them, now we're talking strictly relationship of a partner now, I've transitioned there, that this is the only way it can be. That's what makes it like you complete me, right? This is where it's like I was half and you were half and we come together. And I'd say that's more of the myth than the calm after the storm. Because if you're not a complete being, if you're half there, there's no way that this is going to function with another half being, because there's too much. You cannot complete that person in what is missing for them, but you can accompany them to find it, resolve it, be it, because you need to be your own. To stay sanely healthy, I feel like you have to be your own full sphere so that they know you can stand on your own if anything were to happen. And I didn't have any of these tools or knowledge in the time. But looking, if you're there in that place and you're like, okay, what can I hold on to mentally in the meanwhile while the emotions are going crazy? Just notice and realize there was a time that this person was a stranger to you. If we're talking about a partner, if it's a parent or a relative or someone you work with, something else like this, just remember there are periods of time where you have not been with this person. I remember some of my calmest moments were riding the bus. There's something about riding the bus a long distance that completely brought me sensations of calm. I think that's one of the reasons that I would take these trips to Europe. One, the flight is really long. That's like a long Airbus. And in Europe, I just rode the train a ton. I wasn't even interested in the destination. I would just go on the train and give myself these washing moments of calm where there was nothing else to do except let it take me where it had to take me for a day or two. All the way from either Switzerland down into Spain, and then from Spain back up, through France. Back in the day when you had these little ticket passes that allowed you 5 train rides to any destination. It was like the coolest thing. I don't know how it works now, but that's how I did it back then. All right. So I'm going to leave you with the last thing that was, I used to struggle with the end. So I kept thinking it had to be repaired. Even if the relationship was over, I firmly believed, I kind of like secretly still wish this for everyone, but I do firmly believe that it has to die. But I used to believe that it could be fixed. That there was we can at least be friends. We can at least be civil. I thought there was we're humans. I thought we're humans. It doesn't have to, and not one person in my past needs to go into complete oblivion, right? They can all be present. I have love enough, heart enough, I'm open enough. I can embrace everyone. I'm fully available emotionally to be okay with everyone. But this was a struggle for me, and it kept me trying to mend things when some things, the best way to resolve it was to just let it go. That this specifically happened with a family member that I kept trying to repair things with, and I think every time I tried to repair it, I repelled the situation worse until I finally let it die. And I said, if that's going to restore itself, it's going to come back as another creature. Like the relationship will be different. But apparently whatever we have going on here, that's got to go. That's got to die. And I would struggle with this. I wanted to bring back how it was. I believed it was possible. But don't worry. Don't worry if you let that link die. All you're doing is offering it opportunity to reconstruct itself from a different angle, from a different side, but not yours anymore. And sometimes it'll die and there will be no reconstruction. What I noticed with another relationship that I actually let it die was that I gained back so much time. You don't realize how much time you're investing in someone or something until you let it go. And I said I could be using all this time to further my career, more time with my daughter, do things in the house. Because not only does it wrap up your physical time sending pictures or audios or stuff like that, but it's your energetic time that, not all the time, but many times you're thinking, oh, and I could send them this, or oh, they would like to see that, and just like cutting off all of that and saying this, it wasn't reciprocal, right? And the relationship that was the demo that I had used at the beginning, that I was using as a frustration of 10 years where I didn't feel there was any change happening. So letting that go was massive for me. It almost went against my instinct as a human because I believe that there's always a way. So even if there is a way in this case, I'm like, it's not a way that I know or I'm familiar with, so I just let that go, let that die, and it brought me a lot of calm. There's a lot of calm here on the other side. So if you're struggling with the end, it's okay. It's normal. But just consider what would change in your life if you just let the whole thing go. This doesn't mean you don't care. This doesn't mean that you're stopping trying. Maybe that's even harder, right? It's easier to hold on. Maybe the trying actually means releasing, and letting it go. What does that look like? All right. What I got here wrapping up is the calm is right on the other side of letting them go. And I think that's what brought me to this moment of transition where I notice that storm has completely been weathered. And that was a beautiful moment for me. So if you are in emotional crisis at the time or struggling with that, I do have 7 stairs of dealing with emotional crisis. I'll leave you a link down there. It comes with its videos. You can also find it on the playlist somewhere on my channel. It's open right now to the public, and I'll leave you the link also so you can get the printout, so you can have the step-by-step. And that one's on Hotmart. I believe it's for $17 just to get the printout and the link to all the videos. But right now, all the videos are on there for free. Because, oh my goodness, I know what it's like to be in emotional crisis. So doing this step by step, it's something you can do every step of the week, every day of the week for 7 days to bring you back out afloat. And yeah, you can do this every day. Every day you will wake up stronger. All right, bye-bye. I'll see you in the next video.